Yaga.
I hope I can help.
The add-on is called Unit in Combat.
Farewell.
May you rest in peace.
Okay. Hello. It's me. This is my second time recording this. Yeah, you know me, if you watch me for a little bit. You know, whenever I make these, I end up getting extremely sidetracked, and the one I made before this, the one I recorded before this, was just no good. It was just no good. It had no business being that long. So, a disclaimer, I'm just gonna be freeform talking about this shit. If you want something more concise, well, too bad. You ain't gonna find it in this video. I'll leave some timestamps. In this video, I'll be talking about add-ons. I'll be talking about add-ons, macros, and a little bit about my binds. So yeah, let's get this show on the road. I'm gonna start with macros. If you are only interested in seeing the macros, I made a paste bin. It's in the description. But yeah, I'll just go over the macros real quick, talk about them a little bit. And yeah, so yeah. Here, let's see what I have here. So this is just, I don't know what this is for, I guess for this one here. Anywho's. It's my unused trinket. Here's a backstab and ambush thingy. This is fairly good. I would use this. This is a, where if you're not dancing, the no stance thing, you're doing backstabs. If you are dancing, it does ambush. You have no business doing backstab when you're dancing, if you are trying to do damage. I will demonstrate here. So I'm hitting the same bind. You see I'm doing backstabs here. Then I dance, hitting same bind, I do ambush. So yeah, fairly simple. You save a bind. And also makes it less annoying when you're like, if you have separate binds for ambush and backstab, and when you're dancing you have to like press different buttons, and when the dance runs out you can't ambush anymore. So like if your dance runs out, you're still gonna be backstabbing. Okay? So I feel like this is a very good bind, very good macro to have. Moving on, deadly throw. Well, this is what it is, just deadly throw. I have a throw and shoot in it for fun, I guess. Like if I have no combo points, wait, why is it not doing it? There we go. It'll throw. I also have throw on Hemo bound here. I have a lot of cancel or hand of protection because I play with a pally a lot. So it sucks if you can't take it off. So a lot of my shit just removes it. But yeah, I have Hemo here, so when I'm hitting from melee, I do Hemo. But if I'm out of range, I just throw here. Which I think is pretty good. It saves a bind. This one, it bugs sometimes. Like, let's say, like here, if I... Okay, here it did it, okay. But sometimes I've noticed it's like, yeah, it does this, you see? Where it bugs a little bit. So sometimes your throw might be a little late with this. But I think that has something to do with the global cooldown. It has something to do with global cooldown, I think. Actually, maybe not. I think it's just this. So you don't want to be spamming it. Like here you can spam it, even though it has the exclamation mark. You can spam this. But if you Hemo, if you're hitting and then immediately try, it does this weird thing. So spamming it actually delays it a little bit. So you might want to do like this, and then at least this is what I do sometimes. I like wait for this to wait for you to start the throw animation, and then I don't hit it more. But I don't know. It's a little weird. If you have spare binds, you could just do a bind for throw by CBA. So I do this. Moving on. Blind. This macro has a shift modifier focus thing into it. This is mainly for PvE. In Arena, I don't use this at all. I just do focus from Gladi. So yeah, with the shift modifier, it shifts the focus around like this. And then without the modifier, it is just blind. Bam. On the focus. But yeah, that's pretty good. Also has cancel or hand of protection, obviously. Next, focus cheap shot. Again, another. Wait, this one has blessing of protection. Oh, this is pretty shit. Let's fix it. Hand of protection. Okay. Yep. Self-explanatory. It does focus cheap shot. Moving on. Focus kick. Again, this is kick on your focus target. Focus kidney shot. Now this is a little bit interesting. It has redirect on it. Why? Well, I feel like in cata, like I used to just have a focus kidney for when you do like focus cheap shot into focus kidney. Like that was a thing you kind of wanted to do. And in Wrath, you would just have this as is. But in cata, what you do most of the time, like 99.9% of the time, is you want to redirect your combo points into that kidney. So this does that. It has reset 40 on it. And it's a cast sequence thing, so you have to keep spamming it. So here, I'm spamming it. It does redirect, and then kidney. It is 2 globals, so you can't just like bam insta kidney. But yeah, this is a very good macro. Yeah. Moving on. Focus gouge, self-explanatory. Focus sap, self-explanatory. Focus shadow step kick. Again, self-explanatory. This has both these buttons. I think if you press it once, it doesn't kick. Yeah, so you have to like spam this. You have to spam this when you're trying to kick on your focus with the shadow step. Yep, and then there's the hemo thing. Or the mount macro I have. With mod control, I do flying mount. No modifier, just a regular mount. PV gouge, yeah. You know, because combat, you do gouge for combo points. This is a spammable sap macro. It has clear target enemy player in it. So what this does is you can go stealth in arena if you're facing stealthers. You chill in stealth, you spam this, and yeah, you should get a sap on them if you find them. This obviously has its issues. It's not guaranteed you're gonna find them, because if you see a glimpse of them like here on your side and you can't get the sap, you get the invalid target bug. Like this is a wee bit of a sidetrack here, but yeah, invalid target bug is still in the game. If you see a stealth player from stealth and you don't immediately get the sap, you should not chase them. You should never chase, because they are bugged. You cannot sap them anymore. It's just gonna say invalid target, and it's been in the game I think forever, and no end in sight. So just look out for that one. You're just gonna end up getting sapped doing that, which I still fall victim to sometimes, where I think maybe this time I don't get invalid target, but no, you do. Moving on, focus shiv, self-explanatory. I have a lot of these here. Back in like whatever, I don't remember how long, I was watching Naj, who is a very good rogue retail player. He was playing, I think it was Wrath, early season 5. I was watching a stream and he had a bunch of these macros, this stuff in his macros where there's just a bunch of the same thing, and he explained it like it goes faster or something when you have it. I am not fully convinced it does jack shit, but I did it anyway, because what's the harm? Like, this does no harm, at least. But yeah, you don't need to do this. You can just do one, I think. Yeah, this is a PvE macro. Moving on. I'm trying to be quick here, because the last one I made, I was giga rambly. It was like it was no bueno. So I'm trying to just go quick, and be more concise. Yep, these are just for tooltips. I guess I have a throw button here. I don't really use this. Okay, so moving on to arena. Here I have arena 1, 2, 3 blinds. These are very good. I generally don't use a lot of the arena 1, 2, 3 buttons, except for the cheap shot ones, which I get to momentarily. But like I mostly play with the focus. Like you might have seen, there was a viewer who spotted it. It may not be that noticeable, but I do shift the focus around with my mouse and then just do mostly focus stuff. And there's a reason for this, which I will try to go over quickly. You should probably not do this if you're a new player and you're like trying to figure your stuff out. I would generally, if I were to start, if I had like no basis for anything, I would start off clean. It's like learning, I don't know if you know how to play an instrument of some sort. I play guitar. And my problem with my guitar as well is like I was like self-taught, kind of. I never took classes or anything. And what happens there is like you learn these like bad manners. You learn like poor technique. You don't learn the best way. And then once you're progressing, it will hold you back a little bit. You can't be like as fluid per se as the best of the best. So if you want to be the best in the world, if you want to be the best rogue, if you want to get rank 1s and whatever, which, like, if you're watching my videos, you probably don't. Like, let's be real here. You probably don't. You want to just have fun. You want to, like, I don't know, be slightly more competent at the game. Then, yeah, this. You don't have to do this. But, like, the focus stuff is perfectly fine. In fact, don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure I've watched a lot of, like, Mur and Avizura. I think Avizura does use Arena 1, 2, 3 stuff on, like, most of his buttons, but I'm pretty sure Mur doesn't. Mur plays the same way I do, which is, like, just shifting the focus around, pressing his focus binds. And Mur is a extremely high rated, extremely good player, and he seems to do just fine. So it's not like you can't just fully blame it on your setup if you are unable to get rank 1s. So yeah, this is perfectly acceptable to not use this, but there are some situations where, like, at least these, or blind Arena 1, 2, 3, this is something you kind of want to do. Because let's say there's a situation where you're just about to win a game, you have like a rogue in stealth, no trinket or something, and you're going for a win there, and you just want to blind him. There, spamming these will get it off immediately. You're never gonna be able to blind them fast enough, or as fast with just the focus, because then you have to, like, reapply focus on the rogue and then blind when he comes out of stealth. So this is extremely good, but the use of this is situational. You don't use this all too much, but when that situation arises, you kind of wish you did this. So yeah, I would learn to use these a little bit. Moving on, this is not very useful. The Shadow Step Ambush Kick. This is more for Wrath. This was very good in Wrath. You would do this a lot. Same with this. This is a cast sequence thing where you do bush, you step, bush, kick, vanish. Again, this was really good in Wrath. Not so good in Cata. You don't really want to do this much. Maybe there are some applications, maybe some comps, mainly in 2v2, 3v3. I don't think this is worth doing ever. This is not a good thing to do. But maybe in 2v2. I don't know. Maybe like Mage Rogue Mirrors or something. I'm not sure. Yep, moving on. Yep, cheap shot. This is target cheap shot with cancel our blessing protection. This is wrong. It's kind of good for me as well to go over these. Yep, cheap shot, Arena 1, 2, 3. These ones have use still. These are extremely good in Cata, or in Wrath. Like, these were, like, mandatory. You would have to have these. What these do is you look for the rogue or feral or whatever stealther you have. You watch, okay, he's in Arena 1 or something, and then you spam this. And the moment he opens, you do bam, Shadow Step, pre-med, cheap shot. So you open on him with 5 combo points. And that cheap shot, of course, like you do cheap shot with the pre-med, you get 5 combo points. And this still has use in Cata as well. Not as important. Like in Wrath, it was giga important. You had to do this in a lot of games. But you still do this. You still do this. It's still really good. So yeah, this is a good macro. This is pointless. Not really applicable anymore. Start attack heavy. I have this mainly due to a different macro that I have, which is a stealth macro. I have a stealth macro with pre-med built in it. And during dance, I use pre-med with that same bind. And I have stop attack on it also. So I usually do pre-med into heavy. Like if I'm missing combo points, I do pre-med to get 5 combo points and then heavy. So that's why I have start attack on it. So if I don't have energy exactly to like instantly eviscerate, this will still keep hitting, because otherwise I just sit there and wait for energy to regen without autoing, which is really bad. So yeah, here is the macro in question. So I have stop attack on it, because sometimes you want to like hit, and then you want to stealth. So you try to stealth, like you want to stealth in their face or something like this. So then you're like pretending to hit, and then now you just re-stealth here. So yeah, anyway, moving on. Sap Arena 1, 2, 3. Again, self-explanatory. These are pretty good. Has some purpose, has some use. Again, I mainly do focus saps. A lot of your saps are not that time sensitive where you actually have to do it from like do it that nanosecond. So you have time to set up your focus if you like. But yeah, again, this is pretty good. Also, dance. I have a dance macro. I have my gloves put into this. The reason being, like, I know if you're a human rogue with double on use trinket, or maybe like key in this. I mean, if you have key, then I don't know. I would not put this trinket on your dance. Reason being, a lot of times, like, this trinket plus find weakness, this thing you proc every time you do a stealth opener, this find weakness plus the trinket is insane pressure. It is insane pressure. Like, your backstab does, like, really high pressure. Like, just backstabbing. Not even need to dance with the find weakness. So if you pop your trinket, you can generate a lot of pressure. You don't necessarily want to save your trinket only for your dance. Also, you do dance for utility a lot, where you might just like do cheap shots and whatever, and saps and like something other than damage with your dance, making making popping this less valuable. Like, you might peel with your dance. So if you macro this, you might just like purely waste this. I feel like this is like, you should have a separate bind for this. And then if you have NG, then yeah, you could put the NG here. Or alternatively, if you're human, you could, and you use the double trinket, like the blue one and this, you could then macro both to this dance, and then every time you dance, you have one up. So I mean, that's something you could do. I would not. I'd still use the on use manually, because you do have pressure outside of dance. So yeah, that's the reasoning from me. Moving on. Yep. Shadow Step Sap. Another okay thingy. You don't necessarily need that one if you have okay binds, which I'll get to in a bit. You could just do Shadow Step and Sap separately. It's still fine. Here's the Celt macro. Here's my tricks. I have 2 tricks for names. You could do party tricks as well. I am used to having just adding names here. And I have multiples here. For example, this first one is for tank, because I raid with a guild, and the tanks don't change, so this stays here. This main tank, this off tank. But yeah, if you're doing like 3v3 or something, you can have like the DPS here and the healer here. You know, if you need to trick the healer sometimes, which you might do. Like maybe you get into a 2v2 situation, you might trick the healer. Anyway, moving on. I think that's about it. I think that is most of my macros. But yeah, a lot of focus stuff. This is how I play. Moving on to the add-ons. Okay, so let's go over the add-ons. The most requested one, if you watch, like, obviously the intro was for fun. I do get asked a lot, what is this? What is this sap icon here? It is called Unit in Combat, like I said there. Yeah, it's pretty good. You should get it. I like it. You don't necessarily need this. You could set up Gladi to show combat, but I feel like this is pretty nice. This is pretty nice. Sometimes you see, I mean, you can watch Gladi also and see when people drop combat, but I feel like this allows you to get like random saps sometimes, like quote unquote random, where like you might not be, like most of your saps, if someone randomly drops combat, you should pay attention. You should be like, alright, this guy hasn't hit in a while, I think he's gonna drop combat soon. You don't necessarily need this, but sometimes someone might like randomly drop combat and you're like, oh, I see him, got his ass. Quick little sap. But yeah, it's a pretty good add-on. What else do I have? Okay, these frames, they're called people frames. I got a lot of shit for this when I started. Well, not a lot, but like some shit for, like, my UI is a bit weird. Let's be real here. People didn't like these, and if you don't like this, well, that's fine. I am not gonna change it. I personally prefer this type of frames because the default Blizzard frames, they have like a huge, like half of it is just the round thingy and your face in it. Like, who cares, man? Like, who cares? This is like, it just offers, like, objectively offers more information and easier to see. Like, you can see this in your peripheral vision. I used to have this like more to the side too, but but people really didn't like that, so I made that concession where I moved this like slightly more to the center. But I used to just not like watch these from peripheral vision, because this whole thing is my health bar, you know. So like you see this very clearly, and same with the opponent's health bar. Moving on, these frames, they're called bartender. Bartender. I have these bars hidden. I think this is very good. I stand by this, where you just have your abilities here. You have your abilities here that have cooldown. I don't necessarily need to see backstab. Like, why would I need to see this? I know the bind. I know which buttons I'm pressing. I don't need to see it. I need to see these, because these are like, these have cooldowns. So yeah. Rest of it, I have them here. They're bound, but I just hide them because I don't need to see this. Yep. Moving on. Gladi, of course. Gladi, you need to. This is shit. Like, I need to watch. You know what? Let's just watch something from my Twitch. Let's do that. This is from my Twitch. So, okay. So the nameplates here, these are called Plater. And this is Gladi, of course. Here's details. This is from Bartender again. This thing here in the middle, that says enter combat and the combo points. This is called mix scrolling battle text. This thing here in the middle that shows when I'm like bashed, this is called lose control. And these here are these cooldowns here that the opponents have. These are called omnibar. And these totem pulses, you see these totems pulsing. That is from Gladi. And yeah, this Plater setup, it is default Plater. So I haven't really done much to it. If you download Plater, this is pretty much what you get. I haven't seen a reason to do much, because I like the default. I don't mind it. Pretty much it for the add-ons. And then moving on to binds. I don't want to talk about my binds too much. You should not follow my binds to a T. I will talk about the binds a little bit in that. When coming up with your binds, you want to make sure there's like a couple rules, okay? Rule number 1, when you're playing a class that has a shifting bar here, a shifting stance. So this would be warrior and rogue. This is applicable to warrior as well. Do not bind shit on this bar here that changes. Do not bind shit here. Reason is this. Like, for example, you would want to Garrett this target, but you're not in stealth, right? So let's say I have Garrett on bind 1, where I have Hemo here. Yeah. So now, if I want to vanish and Garrett really quickly, I vanish and Garrett, and you see what happens? I Hemo, because there's a little delay here on the bar change. So what you do want to do is you want to have binds for your stealth abilities outside of this bar. So for example, here I have Garrett on Shift F. So if I want to Garrett this, I'm gonna just vanish and Shift F. I'm already pressing Shift F before anything really happens. So you do it instantly. And that is actually very important to have that. Same with Cheap Shot. I have Cheap Shot on D, Sap on T. What else is there? I have Bush here on Shift 6. I mean, I guess that's step push also. But yeah, stuff like that. You don't want to have important buttons on this first bar. Ideally, you have the stealth bar identical to the outside of stealth bar also. And same thing with dance. I feel like you don't want to have different dance bar. Like, look at this. When I dance, nothing changes. It's the exact same bar. And I still press all my buttons from this. It doesn't change. I think that's a very good habit. That's like kind of important when you're first coming up with the binds. Also, a thing that you should not do, that I do, is I have a kick here on this bar. I cannot kick out of stealth. If I want to kick out of stealth, I have to like do focus kick. Less than ideal. Same with kidney. I cannot kidney out of stealth. I have to do step kidney, etc. Like I have kidney on 4. Yep, that's not ideal. I am too far gone to change them. So it is what it is. But if you are coming up with your own binds, try to follow these. Also, try to make them smart. Make them smart in a sense that you don't have like these finger twisters. Like if you have something that you need to do really quickly, like let's say you want to do vanish Garrett, you don't want to have vanish really far from your Garrett. Like let's say I have like this is just an example off the top of my head, but like let's say your vanish is control 2, like you have control 2 as vanish for some reason, and then your Garrett is shift G. Okay, so now it's gonna be really annoying to do control 2 into shift G, like that's gonna be delayed forever. Like it makes zero sense to do that. Oof, disgusting voice crack. Anyway, stuff like that, you know, like make it make sense, you know, like it's easy to do quickly. Like for example, me for the Garrett, vanish is on F, Garrett is on shift F, so this is very easy to press. Or like vanish cheap shot, my cheap shot is on D, so I can do FD, you know, stuff like that. That makes sense. Anywho's, I think that's it. I don't think this has been that long. Hopefully not. And if I forgot something, you can ask in the comments, or tune in on the stream and ask in chat. Either or. I'm not gonna go over every individual bind. I mean, you see them here. Oh yeah, and I strayed from Q and E instead of WASD. This is just something I got used to from way back when. A little story time. I used to be a keyboard turner when, like, back in 2000. When did WoW come out? Like 2004 or something. I didn't have a lot of binds. Then I watched like rogue PvP videos and I was like, hell yeah, they have a lot of binds. So I made some binds. But then I was like, fuck, I'm still keyboard turning. And instead of binding my strafe to A and D, I realized, okay, Q and E strafe. Q and E strafe. So I started using Q and E for the strafe instead of keyboard turning. And at some point, I think this was in TBC, I needed binds. I needed some binds to use. Like I was running out of binds, and then I realized, fuck, I'm just using A and D for keyboard turning. Like I never pressed these buttons, so I should just put binds here. And then yeah, that's what most people did, except they rebound A and D to strafe, and then bound Q and E. Like you can do that. It doesn't matter. It's not written in stone. Anywho's, that's about it. Sorry for jumping around while talking. I hope it wasn't too distracting. Anyways, that's about it. That's about it. See you guys on the next one. Peace.